The United States have sent us a letter with measures that would come into effect unless there is a negotiated solution. So we will therefore also extend the suspension of our countermeasures till early August. And at the same time, we will continue to prepare further countermeasures so we are fully prepared. We have, as you know, a two-track approach. That's very important. We have always been very clear that we prefer a negotiated solution. This remains the case, and we will use the time that we have now till the 1st of August. And on the second track, since the very beginning, we have worked and now are ready to respond with countermeasures. We've prepared for this, and we can respond with countermeasures if necessary. So this two-track approach pays off because we are prepared.
This is my video update on this Sunday afternoon, July the 13th. Coming to you from Moscow. Let's talk about some news. And we are going to talk about the Epstein scandal, the Epstein cover-up, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, we have to cover the latest Trump post on Truth Social that everyone is talking about. And to start things off, we'll discuss Kash Patel. Actually, let me read you what Kash Patel posted on X the other day. It was rumored that along with Bongino possibly stepping down from his position at the FBI, that Kash Patel was also going to follow Bongino out the door because they're in some sort of argument with Pam Bondi, who's going to take the fall for the Epstein no client list debacle, and Bongino's upset with Bondi. They want her gone. Patel is on the side of Bongino, obviously, and the rumor was that Patel was going to leave the FBI after Bongino, and Bongino is still at the FBI. So all of this talk about Bongino, we're still at the rumor level, but Patel, he cleared things up yesterday in a post on X. He said the conspiracy theories just aren't true, never have been. It's an honor to serve the President of the United States, at real Donald Trump, and I'll continue to do so for as long as he calls on me. So now Kash Patel is against conspiracy theories, right? He doesn't like those conspiracy theories, even though he talked a lot about conspiracy theories before he ended up at the FBI. And those theories are usually the truth. Conspiracy theories usually turn out to be conspiracy fact. But anyway, that was his post on X. The great Robert Barnes replied to Mr. Patel saying, "It was you who said Bill Gates is in Epstein files, and now you are hiding those files. Inexcusable." Yeah. Let's see those files, man. Let's see those files. We're not going to see those files, by the way. So let's move on to Trump's post on Truth Social, which has all the people talking. Everyone is talking about Trump's post on Truth Social. It's a long one, man. I am not going to read the whole thing, or at least I don't want to read the whole thing. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. Let me give you the what's it called? The TLDR, the too long didn't read. Is that what it's called on Reddit? Basically, this post on Truth Social is Trump telling everybody to forget about Epstein. Stop talking about Epstein. Pam Bondi is great. We have a great team assembled at the DOJ and the FBI, and the Epstein, the whole Epstein thing is just stuff made up by Obama, Crooked Hillary, the Biden administration, Comey and Brennan. It's all they're doing now. It's incredible, the level of gaslighting, and the way the story continues to change is unbelievable, man. We went from Pam Bondi telling Fox News that she's got the client list on her desk, and then we went to no client list, and now we're at Obama and Hillary and the Biden administration creating the client list. So there's no client list, but Obama and Hillary, they created the client list. Okay, whatever, man. All right, if you say so. U.S. President Trump. Trust Trump, everybody. Trust Trump. So what he said on Truth Social, I'll read you a little bit of his post. He starts out saying, "What's going on with my boys," in quotes, and in some cases, gals, in quotes. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration. The talk of the world, and selfish people, in quotes, are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that an interesting sentence? All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Oh boy. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton Christopher Steele dossier, and that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything, release the Epstein files. If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? Well, you're the president. Release the files, man. If there's nothing in there, if this is all made up by Obama and Hillary and Bidenopolis, then release it. Release it. Let's all get a good laugh, right? And cover up, scandal, whatever you want to call it, is over. You see what he's doing here? It's actually quite an interesting tactic. He is creating a connection between the Russiagate hoax and the Epstein files. That's what he's doing, because everyone understands that Russiagate was a hoax. And so now he's creating a connection to the Epstein files so that people can start to think that the Epstein files are a hoax, right? You connect it to Russiagate, you create that connection, and you start to believe that, hey, maybe the whole Epstein thing is a hoax. That's what he's doing. It's quite clever, actually. So anyway, he goes on and on and on and on in this post, Make America Great Again. He talks about JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., those files, how the U.S. is dominating the election. He gets into the election, how it was rigged. He talks about how great Pam Bondi is doing. Once again, the 2020 election was rigged and stolen. The U.S. is the hottest country in the world. He says, let's keep it that way, and let's not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And just to make sure that his message is delivered to the American public, he did a softball interview with his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump? Yeah, Lara Trump, his daughter-in-law. So he does that interview as well for added and extra spin, right? Because everyone knows if your daughter-in-law is going to interview you, then it's going to be a very hard interview with very difficult questions, right? Man, What a debacle. What a freaking debacle. So look, it's simple. It's very simple. Everyone is saying this. If these are Obama, Biden, Hillary made up documents, even more reason to release it, right? Even more reason to release the freaking things. But we're not going to see any release of documents. That's for sure. There's an internal power struggle going on. Someone's going to take the fall. That's the way these things usually always work. That's the way these things always work. Someone always has to take the fall, right? Is it going to be Bondi? Is it going to be Bongino and Patel? Is it going to be some other people? Is it going to be all of them? We'll find out. Or are we going to get, or are we going to get some sort of distraction, right? Whenever you have these types of scandals, these political types of scandals and cover-ups that you just can't seem to shake, usually a conflict or a war is what's needed. Think about Bill Clinton 1999 and Lewinsky and the Clinton administration under pressure from Hillary. Bill Clinton ends up bombing Serbia, right? Bombing Belgrade. So that's a possibility as well. Trump has got 3 conflicts cooking right now. He's got Gaza, he's got Iran, he's got, of course, Project Ukraine. He's got another one brewing with China. So who knows? Maybe we're going to get some sort of an escalation in a conflict to act as a nice distraction, or to try and act as a distraction from this scandal, because this thing's not going away. I don't think this is going to go away, even if certain people are let go or fired, and they try to blame them for this debacle. Even if that happens, my sense of things is that the American people, they want to hear from the president, and they want to see the files. Ruling the country through Truth Social is not going to cut it. This is not how you run a country. This is not how you execute the office of the president of the United States. You can't do it through social media, through Truth Social posts. What Trump needs to do is he needs to speak to the American people and, say what's going on. I'm starting to think, and this may be a crazy thought, but given how damaging this entire Epstein thing is, I'm starting to think, if you're Trump, if you're the president, you just might as well tell the American people this guy was an intel asset. I'm not going to say who he was working for, right? Make a speech to the American people, Trump, in the Oval Office. Say, look, I'm not going to release, at least tell the American people straight up, tell the world straight up, we're not going to release the documents. And we're not going to release the documents because Epstein was an intel asset, and that's that. I mean, I don't know what else he can do at this point. Is that a crazy thought? It seems like it's a crazy thought, but I really don't know what else he can say or do. At least come clean. At least come clean is going to infuriate a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be very, very upset hearing something like that from the president. But what else can you do at this point? Do you continue to gaslight people and keep changing up the story? Or do you start a conflict? I don't know, man. I'm just spitballing ideas here. But this thing is a complete mess. It is derailing Trump's presidency. Did you guys hear Tucker Carlson at Turning Point USA? Man, Tucker Carlson, he said that Epstein most likely was a foreign intel asset, and he actually said Israel. That's what Tucker Carlson said in his speech at Turning Point USA. Tucker Carlson also said that any Americans fighting in conflicts for another country, whether it's fighting for Ukraine, fighting for Israel, for any country, he said, but he mentioned Ukraine and Israel. He said those Americans that are fighting in a different military should lose their citizenship, their U.S. citizenship, because the only country they should be fighting for, he said, is the United States. So Tucker Carlson, He said a lot of interesting things in his speech. You know, Tucker has become he's become the voice of America First. At least that's the sense that I'm getting, because the reactions from the audience at Turning Point USA was very much on the side of Tucker. And when they asked the audience about Epstein and the approach from Trump with the Epstein documents, people in attendance at Turning Point USA were not happy at the fact that they keep on shifting their story, and there's a lack of transparency, and that the U.S. president doesn't really address this. You know, that's my point to all of this: is the U.S. president should address this, not via Truth Social. Truth Social is not going to cut it on this one. You need to say something to the American people, and not through a media Q&A. This thing is getting to the point where Trump's going to have to actually come out with a statement. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this. Crazy stuff, man. Who had Epstein derailing Trump's presidency on their bingo card? Who had that? Oh, man. So yesterday, Trump announced possibly imposing 30% tariffs on Mexico and the European Union. That's right, 30% tariffs. It's not a done deal. But if they can't come to an agreement by August 1st, then the Trump White House is saying he is going to put 30% tariffs. And let me read you the requirements for those 30% tariffs to drop down to, I believe, 10%. These are the requirements that Trump has of let's start with the European Union. Point number 1, the U.S. market is open and fair, but EU practices have created an unsustainable trade deficit. The 30% tariff applies separately from any sectoral tariff and will be higher for goods transshipped to avoid it. No tariff will be applied if EU companies manufacture within the U.S. The EU must allow full market access to the U.S. or face higher tariffs. Retaliatory EU tariffs will be met with additional levies. So that's what Trump is asking of the European Union, so that he could drop his 30% tariff. The EU is saying that if Trump goes through with the 30% tariff, then the EU is going to respond. The EU, Ursula, is going to respond with countermeasures. Yeah, whatever, Ursula. All right, vassal. The vassal EU is going to respond to the United States with countermeasures. Who are you kidding, man? Oh, Ursula. Ursula. What did Joe Pesci say in Goodfellas? You're a funny guy. You're a funny gal. You're a funny gal. Oh, man. I think we're looking at St. George, right? Slaying the dragon. I think that's what we're looking at. I think we can get up close, too. Can't we?
No.
All right. Let's talk about Mexico now. Let's talk about Mexico. If you go to Mexico City, you can see the Angel of Independence. That's what this kind of resembles, huh? Everyone in Mexico City, huh? The Angel of Independence. You can see the angels up top. All right. So on Mexico, here are Trump's terms. 30% tariff will apply to all Mexican imports unless action is taken. Tariff waivers will be granted for companies that build or manufacture in the U.S. If Mexico raises tariffs in retaliation, the U.S. will match them on top of the 30% and adjust tariffs if Mexico successfully confronts the cartels and halts fentanyl trafficking. All right, so those are his tariff terms. It's not set in stone. These terms are not set in stone yet. We have until August the 1st for both the EU and Mexico to agree to Trump's terms, which is basically what he's demanding. Agree to these terms that I just read out. Ursula, Claudia and Ursula agree to these terms. And if you don't, then 30% tariffs for you. All right. Let's talk about the UK and the UK Telegraph, which is running an article saying that Britain must build bomb shelters immediately to prepare for war with Russia in the next 5 years, says former British Army head General Patrick Sanders. This park is Park Babedi, right? The Victory Park, right, everybody? So here we have the British now saying that they need to start building bomb shelters to fight Russia. Oh boy, the UK, France, Germany, they're all in, man. They are all in on conflict with Russia, right? They cannot let it go. And you know where we're going to go to? We're going to go to the church. What do you guys think? We'll get to that church, and that's where we will wrap up this video. So that's coming from the Telegraph, and from CBS News, we have some breaking news for today. CBS is reporting that the Trump administration, what they are thinking of doing for Project Ukraine. Listen. The bells were ringing. What they're thinking of doing for Project Ukraine is to take $5 billion. Let's go this way. $5 billion from the frozen assets. They don't specify frozen assets in the U.S. or frozen assets in Europe at Euroclear, and give that money to the Zelensky regime, along with $3.4 billion in the Biden drawdown package that's left. So $8.4 billion. Let's do some Annalena Baerbock math. $5 billion plus $3.4 billion. Carry the 360 divided by 180 degrees times 360 degrees. We could be talking about $8.4 billion. $5 billion, $3.4 billion, right? 3.4 billion is what they're saying the Biden, 3.85 billion they say is in the Biden drawdown package. That's what CBS News is saying, left over from the previous administration. Oh man, so I got to redo my Annalena Baerbock math. So I redo my Annalena Baerbock math, and I come up with 5 billion plus 3.85 billion is equal to 8.85 billion plus 360 degrees. Annalena Baerbock math. All right, so that's what Trump is going to do. Trump considers green lighting new funding for Ukraine, sources say. And he's going scorched earth on the global economy, isn't he? Trump is going scorched earth on the global economy, 500% bone-crushing sanctions, stealing Russian assets, giving them over to Zelensky, Not even Biden was doing this stuff. Not even Bidenopolis was doing these kinds of things. Even he was cautious about stealing the frozen assets, placing too many restrictions on Russian oil, too many sanctions on Russian energy. Even Biden understood that that may be a bridge too far and that may sink the entire global economy. But Trump is telling Biden, hold my beer. Hold my beer, 500% bone-crushing sanctions, as advised by my golfing buddy, U.S. President of Foreign Policy, Lindsey Graham, 500% bone-crushing sanctions. And we're also going to, according to CBS News, I have to say that, according to CBS News, we're also going to take $5 billion in Russian frozen assets. I believe that we're looking at $5 billion probably in the United States. Unless, of course, Trump tells the Europeans, go ahead and take it. And if Trump tells the Europeans to take the $5 billion from the Euroclear, then the Europeans are going to take it. They're going to steal it. Anyway, that's what's going on there. And let's do some more news before we get into a very quick clown world. The Financial Times is saying that the U.S. State Department is pressing Japan and Australia to come out with a statement and tell the United States that they will go to war with China if sometime in the future, this is all hypothetical stuff, right? But they want the statement, they want the pledge from Japan and Australia that they will go to war with China if China dares invade Taiwan. U.S. demands to know what allies would do in event of war over Taiwan. And so on Australian television, they interviewed the defense minister, Pat Conroy, and they just asked him straight up, are you going to pledge allegiance to the United States of America, that Australia is ready to go to war with China in case of some sort of an invasion of Taiwan? And the defense minister, yeah, he was having a hard time answering that question. He said, look, we're not looking at an advance deployment of troops. We're not looking to deploy troops without a conflict. I mean, that's what he was basically saying. He says, we don't have a conflict. China hasn't invaded Taiwan, so I'm not really going to commit Australian troops to something that hasn't happened. But he doesn't want to anger the U.S. State Department either. So yeah, that's an interesting development. And finally, before we get to a very quick clown world, oh wow, look at how beautiful that is. Amazing. Before we get to a clown world, Alexander has been doing a really good breakdown over the past couple of videos that he's been recording on the assassination of the SBU colonel Ivan Varonich. This happened about 3 days ago, and this SBU colonel, was assassinated, shot 5 times with a silencer right outside his apartment or something like that. And the person that shot him, they got away. But there are many people that believe that this was a Russian assassination, that Russia is now going after officials in the Ukraine military and maybe even political figures in the future. But much the same way that Ukraine has gone after Russian military officials, journalists, bloggers, political figures, and they've targeted them for deletion, it looks like Russia is now starting to do the same. And they say that that's what this was. This was some sort of a Russian hit. The other theory is that this was some sort of infighting between the SBU and perhaps the military intel Budanov. But most people are going with a Russian hit of Ivan Varonich. The SBU actually came out with a statement today, and they said that they managed to delete the 2 people that were involved in the assassination of Varonich. I don't know if I believe this. This is what the SBU is saying. I think this is a cover-up. I think they're just trying to cover this thing up and to tell the Ukrainian society that they got the the people that committed this this assassination of Varonich. I don't think this is very believable, but anyway, that's what the SBU is running with. It sounds like a psyop to me, because they don't want to say that these assassins, they got away. They can't say that they got away. So they're saying that they deleted them. But the interesting part, and definitely check out Alexander's videos, because he does a great job breaking this entire thing down. Christos Voskrese. We can't, I don't think we can film in here. It actually says no cameras over there, but maybe we can just take a very quick look, just a quick peek. But it doesn't allow you to film inside, so we won't film. But I think you guys got just a quick look as to how beautiful it is on the inside. Amazing church. So yeah, definitely check out Alexander's last two videos where he talks about this. But one thing I didn't know is that this SBU colonel, they claim that he was involved in the assassinations of Motorola and Givi, and the head of the former head of the DPR, Alexander Zakharchenko. If anyone followed the 2014-2015 war in Donbass, then you would know these names: Zakharchenko, Givi, Motorola. And they were assassinated in like 2017 and 18, and these were hits, right? I mean, you know, the Ukraine SBU intel services got to them, and they say that this is this guy that they deleted a couple of days ago, that allegedly Russia deleted a couple of days ago, that he was one of the guys in charge of those killings from back then. So a very interesting, very fascinating story. And I think now I'll do a very quick Clown World and wrap up this Sunday video. And it was a pretty good Clown World. I think it's an okay Clown World, courtesy of Peter Szijjártó, the excellent Foreign Minister of Hungary. He said that what should happen with Ursula is that she should be held 100% responsible for a possible 30% tariff against the EU, and she should be impeached. That's right. Zlati71 says Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó proposes holding Ursula von der Leyen responsible for Trump's 30% tariffs against the EU and impeaching her. In addition to Hungary's foreign minister, a number of other prominent right-wing politicians in Europe also blame Ursula, who, despite having several months wasted time on Ukraine and intrigues to prevent her impeachment for corrupt embezzlement of funds on jab procurement. Less than a week has passed since the previous vote against the head of the Gynecology European Commission. It's true. She spends all her time either dealing with these disappearing text messages with Mr. Burla, disappearing, the messages just disappeared, like the client list, or she's completely absorbed in Project Ukraine and getting money to the Green Goblin. Yeah, she hasn't really been focusing on what's coming, which could be 30% tariffs against the EU. So impeach her is what the Hungarian Foreign Minister is saying. We've got tools. We've got tools, says Ursula. Tatters, I tell you. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch like what I'm wearing in this video update. I will see everybody tomorrow. There's a link down below to the Durant shop, and free shipping as well on all orders from the Durant shop. So definitely check that out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.